Most boot camps stop at teaching the tech skills, but at Yellowtail Tech, we have our Career Success Commitment Program to set you up for success. Today, we're going to give you some insight to what that looks like and how we support you beyond just the tech skills.
I think the first thing we have to talk about is the length of the commitment we have towards our student. Because our career support it's an 18 months career support, and the 18 months starts after they start actually actively looking for jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure. Because it takes more, it takes more time to have a strategized job search, right? And to do that troubleshooting along the way. But let's not forget too that even before that 18-month commitment rather, you're already getting a lot of professional development support, which is all part of career coaching.
Yeah, and the 18 months, I think it's important because you don't want to pressure the student, because every student have different situation at home, different disposition. The market also changes.
Sure.
So all that we take into consideration. We don't expect it to take 18 months for you to actually transition, but we allow that so you don't feel pressured, and we don't feel that pressure. We just focus on actually doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you get into that job, right? Once you get that first role, you might need a little extra support as you're doing that full transition. Which
we do a lot. A lot of students, they get the job and they still need the support to actually settle into the job.
Yeah.
All that falls into the 18 months as well.
For sure. And they may even be facing benefits, right? New benefits that they've never had before in a role. So they have questions about those kinds of things, even just from getting the offer, how they can, properly onboard into that position.
Yeah, so to us, it's very important to give that time, to allow that time, and also for the student to feel accompanied, because that's the most important part to us. To not only feel that we are offering training, but we are offering the company throughout the way and the transition, which is what it is we want to offer. You see?
Yeah. And the foundational stuff, right? The resume reviews, the LinkedIn optimization, the interview training. We want to make sure that we're covering all of those things because, like we always say, we're here to do career coaching, not just first job coaching.
Yeah. So also to talk about what you just mentioned is the apprenticeship that comes before or during the career coaching. Because there is the catch-22 that I always talk about. You need a job to get the experience, but where do you get this experience if you never got the job? So that's why after you get your certification, we invite you into an apprenticeship with a sister company where you get that hands-on, because it's super important. And that's the hands-on. That's the material on which we're going to do the mock interviews, we're going to do the support, we're going to work on your resume and so on.
Yeah.
I think this is super important as well as you are done with the actual training and transitioning and career support, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't look the same for everybody. Transitioning into tech is going to look really different, and even your timeline is going to look different, right? We have some students who are open to relocating anywhere. They will work remotely, they will work on site, they'll do hybrid, they'll do contracts, they'll do whatever comes their way to get that first step, right? Their job search process is going to be a lot shorter than the person who says, okay, I can't move, I only can do remote, and I'm not taking a contract.
And not only that, what they say, it's because sometimes there are real constraints.
Sure,
the person
absolutely
has a life, the person has a family there, their spouse has a great job wherever they live.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes they have children with special needs at home, and that job needs to be a remote job.
Yeah.
So there are real constraints that we have to navigate every day.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So that's why the timeline is very well affected.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah. And that's why the coaching is so tailored, right? That's why we spend so much time one-on-one with each student and really leave the student that flexibility to choose what they want their journey to look like, right? They really are only required to meet with me before mock interviews one time.
Yeah.
But they have the option to meet with me as much as they want, so they can really make that their own.
Yeah. And also our certification success rate is high. It also helps in, the whole career support process. So we make sure not only we send these students to your team, but we send them ready, as ready as possible, with great certifications, with solid training, and not only great certification, but relevant certification that the marketplace is asking for.
Absolutely.
Because if we are not sending these students to you ready on the technical side, there is, you can help them, but the help you can deliver to them is very limited.
Limited, sure.
So what we do on the training side with the rest of the team is super important as well, and the success of the student in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say too, you can be a Linux system administrator without a college degree. Being a Linux system admin without a Red Hat certification, it's going to look very different.
Yes, and let me explain why. Here's the deal. You don't need a RHCSA to get that job.
Sure.
But you come in with no long resume, many years. You come in with not many years of experience. You come in green. You come in from another industry. So having an RHCSA is super important to cut through the noise, because you need something for people to start taking you seriously.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are always asking, is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. It just makes your life easier. It just makes the process faster.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, and why not leverage yourself, the best way that you can? I mean, this is part of the reason why we hold our alumni community so dear to our hearts, right? Because they really help students get an understanding of what to expect and reinforce the importance of those things as they're going along the way. Because we know some students really have a very hard time trusting the process. The discouragement, can kind of settle in early on if they're facing that imposter syndrome early in the beginning. So the alumni community is a great way for them to feel like they have that added support and someone to reach out to.
Yeah. So basically the career success commitment we have is not only about getting you the job, which is important, but it's about accompanying you beyond that, for you to not only get a job, but to build a career, a sustainable career as you transition into tech.